All right, Miles, let's talk the University of Michigan Wolverines football program here for a little bit. This is a team obviously coming off a run to the college football playoff. Did not end the way a lot of Wolverines fans wanted it to, but momentum is building in the program, both in the short term and in the long term. And we've got an interesting report for the Michigan Wolverines. That's great signs, both for the short term coming to next season and for the seasons to come as well.
Yeah, Nick. And as spring ball has started, everything is heating up. There's a lot of football around the corner for Wolverines fans. And that's why I want to know in the comments below who are you the most excited to see in spring ball this coming spring season? Who do you want to see? Who do you think maybe has developed the most, can contribute to the most to the team? Let us know in the comments below. But, Nick, what is the good news for the Michigan Wolverines?
Yeah, so you and I talked about this a little bit offline. The Michigan Wolverines program under Harbaugh has been very sneakily good about recruiting, whether it's through the transfer portal or recruits out of high school, getting great athletes, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. They also do it on the offensive side of the ball as well, but I think more on the defense. And they just have this innate ability to pull great athletes in and just find spots to put them in who become great football players. And there's news that Michigan pulled in another recruit to that level. So this is according to USA Today. Brandon Hillman, formerly University of Notre Dame, has committed to the University of Michigan. Hillman, a four-star recruit from Churchland High in Portsmouth, Virginia, announced his commitment to Michigan football on Sunday afternoon on social media. Hillman was previously committed to Notre Dame before he announced earlier this week Notre Dame agreed to release him from his national letter of intent for, quote, personal reasons, unquote, and that he was reopening his recruitment. Offers poured in from Michigan, USC, LSU, Ohio State, Wisconsin, and others before he ultimately chose the Wolverines. The 6'1", 191-pound Hillman is the number 214 overall player in the nation, the number 9 athlete in 2023, and number 5 player in Virginia, according to the 24/7 Sports composite rankings. Miles, I think this is a huge deal. This is obviously a very talented kid. He's got great skills. A lot of people have him projected as a safety. I mean, I think he can play all over the field. Reminds me a lot of Jabril Peppers, a Dax Hill role potentially as well. Seems like a great fit for what Michigan likes to do defensively. Smart player, good player throughout his time in high school. Looks like a great job by Harbaugh to pull this guy away from after decommitting from the University of Notre Dame. Give me your thoughts on this move and just everything with Michigan in general right now.
Yeah, Nick. So we're talking about this guy, elite defender, could come out, be a hard-hitting safety DB on the back end of Michigan's defense. All of this is coupled where in his junior year at Churchland, the Truckers, he had 1,000 yards passing, 1,000 yards rushing, and 30 touchdowns. He played both ways as a DB and a quarterback, and Virginia Class 4A Region Player of the Year honors. So this guy is a stellar athlete. He can contribute wherever he wants. That's why I'm excited to see him there. I think in the DB role, he can find the most success at Michigan because, as you said, they are very, very good at taking a guy with his size, his athletic prototype frame, the ability to make all of these plays and turning them into top-tier NFL level talent in college. That is what Michigan has been doing year after year ever since Harbaugh has joined this program, Nick. And I really like to see a guy like this kind of make the decision and be like, you know what? Maybe Notre Dame isn't the right fit for me. I don't know what his personal reason is. There could be a bunch of different, different coach, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of things that could be the issue. But he took the time to step back and say, hey, there's another option for me out here. And as I come into Michigan, maybe I'm going to have to try a little bit harder to get into the rotation. But I think it's going to be a better fit for me overall. And I think that's what Harbaugh does. He's a great salesman. He says, hey, we're not handing stuff out. You're going to have to earn it. But if you come to Michigan and you try your butt off, we're going to make you into the best football player you can be because we are great at developing guys like you. I think Hillman saw that and he decided to move over to Michigan, Nick. And I think this is going to be a very, very good match between the player and the school.
Yeah, because I think one of the things that people kind of ignore a little bit when it comes to Michigan, one of the reasons they've dominated over Ohio State over the past 2 seasons. Look, the main reason obviously is that offensive line and running game, but their defensive backfield has actually held up pretty well, not perfectly, but pretty well against Ohio State. We did Ohio State video earlier talking about that army of wide receivers they always seem to have, and that's one of the things that very few teams in college football, frankly, almost no team in college football can hold up against that offense. Even Georgia couldn't stop C.J. Stroud and those receivers receivers in the college football semi-playoff game this past season. That's how good Ohio State has been at receiver. But Michigan has done a pretty solid job. In fact, as good a job as anybody against that receiver core. And one of the reasons they're able to do that is they put quality athletes on the field. They kind of go mano a mano against those guys. They put the great athletes of Ohio State against the great athletes from Michigan. And that's how they're able to contain them a little bit. And I think this is a guy here in Hillman who fits exactly what Michigan is looking for at that defensive backfield position. And plus, he's a playmaker and an athlete, right? A guy who can throw for 1,000 yards, run for 1,000 yards. You can do a lot of things with. It could obviously be a punt return or a kick return game. Maybe get the few snaps on offense, depending how his career goes. So no matter how it shakes out for Michigan, they got one heck of a football player here. This is kind of an unexpected win, too, because he was a commitment and signed an NLI with Notre Dame, too. So this is all in all a great win for the University of Michigan football program.